So, Eagle, one of the things that I wanted to start with is that you started the 1111 Star Knowledge Conferences 22 years ago. And I would love for you to share how that began and who was there, because there were pretty heavy hitters at that event. And that's why I've called you the grandfather of all of these contact events where many people are talking about the star beings, but you have been doing this for 22 years. And I know a lot of our speakers are involved with Portal to Ascension and Disclosure Fest. They've been at many conferences. So do you want to start there, and then we'll go on to talk about the areas of the full that we're in, this spider.
Yeah, I suppose I could. But I had some visitations from a star race called the Orion, but they're a delegation from the Galactic Federation. And they showed me a set of bars and symbols, and they explained them to me through their language. They didn't speak English at all, but I understood them completely, in perfectly. Because that language was what we called today as telepathy. But they, because you're a certain vibration and frequency in your spirit form, and when you come back down to Earth, the Earth is programmed 3D, so it's really hard to maintain a high vibrational understanding. So what we did is we went into ceremony. Ceremony brings up your vibration to extract some of that information from that dimensional level back into English, but they had to translate all that information down 7 levels. And then when we finished with the ceremonies, it took us from December 6th to April 16th to get all the information or the basic titles of the information. And they told us to put it out. The people were waiting for them. The 4 directions were coming, and we were supposed to help them. So we didn't understand too much of that. We just worked and let the spirit move everything. So when we went into a ceremony, there was 13 of us, and the youngest one was my grandson, and we used him as our interpreter to interpret, because he was free of alcohol, free of drugs, free of tobacco. He was a clean vessel. So when we give him the symbol that was shown to us on the bars, well, then he would give us the title, and like the the very first one that he brought through, we would draw the symbol on the ground, and he would look at it, then would go in ceremony. And there was 2 spirits that would come in. One was Ishtawaji, which means one eye. And the other one was Blue Hand, but his other name in another realm, the Kapipila realm, they call him Archangel Michael. So they worked with us, and the first message that they gave us was what they call the universal law of free will, which is guarded by the Tunkashilas, or the grandfathers, that protects your personal freedoms. The second messenger was Arcturus, which helped invoke the Freedom Ray. And Kuan Yin, she worked with accessing the Great Karmic Council. Then when you turn the symbol at a 45 degrees, then they become a spiritual, it changes the meaning. Like, so the first one was, the second part of the symbol was called spiritual freedom of man. And the bear people, the Matomani walking bear, he helped to remind us to open the doors that have been closed. And the second messenger was from the Machpeoyate, which means the cloud people, and they helped to initiate what they call the alchemy of South. Then the third messenger was Krishna, and he helped to invoke what they call the Dharmic path. But if you're looking at this universal and spiritual law, the universal law are feminine laws, and the spiritual laws are masculine. And each law had a message that come from the people from the earth, whether it's an animal, a bird, or fish, or a snake, or anything. It didn't matter, because they all had these beautiful messages for humanity. Then the second messengers, that came in were from the stars, whether from Andromeda or Alpha Centauri, Arcturus or Orion or Pleiades or Sirius. There was like 10,800,000 different star groups. So that you could just about say any kind of sound, any kind of word, and it's known someplace in the universe. So those were the basic universal and spiritual laws. And of course, they brought in the universal law of change with the butterflies and the waters of life and the bodhisattva, and one they call the spiritual growth, which is works with the waicha, the fireflies, and the guardians of the mind, and this one master called Saint Germain. And then we have the universal law of movement and balance, which is brings in the whale people and their message with the Pleiades, the Tao Wamanipa, they call them, and this other master known as Maitreya. Then the brother-law to that universal law of movement and balance is called spiritual strength, health, and happiness. And the grandmothers are the ones that work with this law, along with this one called Yojajazizi, which worked with this golden road of health. And we have, of course, everybody knows Archangel Michael, and he helps to strengthen through what they call the divine law. So each symbol was a law, and each symbol carried 3 messages. And we're underneath tonight, we're in the moon of the spider. And the spider works as a guardian of the universal law of innocence, truth, and family. And this grandmother, she's a protection for the child and everybody, the community, if you allow that to happen. And she works with, the spider works with this one called Sheetranka or Siatranka, which means Bigfoot. And he helps to cultivate purity, innocence, and truth. And Buddha works in that field as ascended mastery realms, and Buddha helps with opening the original mind. And you have the spiritual protection of family, which the buffalo people, the Tatranko out there, or Patech Chaka, you could call them. Al Moria is also a guardian of this protection called family. Then we have the universal law of symmetry with the Eagle Nations, this Wambaliwi Chasha, which helps to lift your mind and your materialistic mind into your spiritual mind. And the star people that work with this law as well are the Orion masters, and they help to ground in what you call the divine presence. Then we have Ishtato, blue eye, who come from Sirius. And these dolphins and these whales, if you look at them, their eyes, that's who that is. And they help with setting your eye on creation or creator. Then we have what they call the spiritual law of equality. And these trees carry this high vibration on Mother Earth. We call them Chanupa. And they help to empower what they call in respect for Mitakuye Oyasi, which means that we are all related. And they're simple little words, but they're much more than that. And the sun, working with the messaging system with the sun, and the sun helps to invoke what they call the spiritual community, along with Ite Otapi, this master, many faces, and many faces help to unify humanity through becoming one. Now we have also the universal law of life, and the universal law of life is guarded by this little grandma that we call the turtle, and she works to help you with these corridors of light along what they call your straight path. And this one from down south, this brother to this one called Emmanuel, and his name is Quetzalcoatl. It helps to awaken human centers and attunes to the galactic center. And this other Archangel Gabriel helps to reconnect their lifeline to what they call the great central sun. which is actually your heart. Everybody wants to externalize and think it's something way out in the middle of this universe, but it's right in the middle of your body, your heart. So then we work with the spiritual law of choice, which this other Pleiadian grandma, this corn woman, Wagmaiza Washdewi, she helps to manifest and portals in manifesting energy, along with Io Yampa Ijaja, and he's a messenger symbol for what they call the light web. Then we have another Buddha, and he works with truth, and he opens the gates of future possibilities. Now, this universal light of law of light, sound, and vibration is similar to what they call the law of attraction. But all people are the ones that help you to waken your inner wisdom and remembrances. And along with the star relative, Doaskuya, which means sweet song, and she helps one to awaken to what we call the cosmic community. Then we also have Holy Amethyst as the master that atones self in the celestial word. Now, the brother to that law of light, sound, vibration is called a spiritual law of intuition. And this little water dog called a mini shunka weather, or this otter, helps to heal your emotional body and your heart. Now we have Oilele Chechpawi, which means twin flames. And twin flames helps to open your well springs of what they call creative intuition. And this one they call Holy Dove Tiwa Wakiana Wakawi helps change through thought alchemy. Then this universal law of judgment, this rattlesnake, this diamondback rattlesnake, these rattlesnakes, they're like messengers for every continent. There's one that works with the cobras and the anacondas and the pythons. Over here, it's the diamondback on Turtle Island. And the diamondback rattlesnake help you to evoke your visionary experiences. And we have what they call the great healer, helps to invokes cosmic judges to resolve interdimensional issues. And of course, the master Aloha balances karma and aligns sacred path. And the brother law to this one is called the judgment, is called the spiritual law of karma. And the stone people, the crystal people, they're the guardians to this law as well, and they help to invoke cycles of what they call cause and effect. And we also have this teacher from the stars called Hayden, and he helps to open doorways to transcend and transmute. And of course, the master Kahomini, or this woman, this whirling rainbow star woman, or this whirling star woman, helps with what they call the mirror of self. And the universal law of nature is called the messenger, the earth messenger is this little deer, Kachcha Chikala Sa, which is this little white deer, this little albino deer, and they work with the power to be, which is going on at this very moment. Itacha Pajuta, this medicine chief, is this from the star nations, work with harmony and light relations. And this one called Melchizedek, this Melchizedek energy invokes what they call the flame imperishable. Then when we go into the brother of this universal law of nature, we go into this one called the spiritual law of protection. And the Elk people, the Elk people helps you to be direct and to the point. And the star group that works with this is Saturnalia. And Saturnalia helps to sponsor soul evolution, you call it. And this angel, Jophiel, works with invoking light protection. So this is the law protection of humanity or mankind, or protection of all. Then we come down to Emmanuel's favorite law. It's called Universal Law of Love. And we Chashaluta, this red man, that's also one of the 12,000 different names that Emmanuel carried over his 12,000 different lives on earth. He works with and helps to sponsor and protect life transitions. And he works with Bodhisattva, the star people, the essence of happiness and life. And Ishtawaji, the guardian of all these laws, works with the eye of understanding through this law. So the brother law to this love is called a spiritual law of healing. Hupahuluta, the red wing, it's called, her name is Red Wing, but she's a little tiny ladybug, and she helps the ray healing energy. And from the star relatives of Chiron, Chiron opens healing portals, and the ascended master of the Shekinah way helps to invoke the the spirit of healing. So now we come to the universal law of perception, and Tate helps to open your inner eye, of your pineal, you could say. And we got the Wakia Heoka, these backward people, but they help to promote multi-dimensional understanding. And in the ways of the ascended mastery realms, we have Uriel and Aurora, and they help to align south to universal truth. And then the brother law to this perception is called the spiritual law of future sight. So Thoth is the one that works with this, and Thoth is what they call the prophet's mark. Mammy, and she's this big grandma of time and space. She works with helping to direct the movement of time. And Shangti, the ascended master realm, helps to open doorways of grandfather. So these are the 11 universal laws and the 11 spiritual laws, which make up the 1111, which was on that bar that the delegation from the Galactic Federation, the delegation from Orion, they helped to move this energy so that we could work on ourselves on this 11th dimensional energy. So that is just what we call the 1111. The Makawi Chachpe Wichocha. Am I still there?
You are, and
okay. It was quiet.
You're doing great. That was a nice, that was a nice little, a nice little share. I see a lot of people writing in. There are people they're deeply listening. Thank you so much. I think Joy asked, please can we read all these information? What is the significance of 12? And I wanted to hold up one of your books. I don't know if the camera can see that. This symbols book, The Universal Symbols of Laws and Laws of Creation, are available, or are they only available at your events?
Yeah, you could get them at starknowledge.org. They're in Spanish as well. We have one of our star ladies that interpret them all into Spanish, Maritza Valdía Serra, out of San Jose area, California. So it took her a while to interpret those and translate them into Spanish. So those are all ready as well. The 1111, the 1212, and the 1313, they call them. So these are the 11th, 12th, and 13th dimensional messages that we've been waiting for, because that's where we actually work with. So 1212, those are what we call the Iktomi ways, the sacred spider ways. And there's 12 different spiders that work and give the messages, or 8 spiders that work and give the messages with that. and there's 8 of them, but they work with time, Earth time, with the equinoxes and the solstices and the in-between ceremonies. See, February 2nd, May 2nd, August 2nd, and November 2nd. But November 2nd got they stole a couple days. I think Augustus and Caesar, Julius Caesar, got a couple of days from February, whatever. So it kind of took a couple of days back from November. So we call the 8th ceremony Halloween. So the Earth ways, we call them ceremony. The solstice, winter solstice, is a ceremony of rebirth, but it's the star people call them the spiritual attunement and star activation. And the birds from the cardinal people are the ones that have the first message for that time. And we have the 7 sisters from the star system, Pleiades, work with that as well. And we also have the 3rd messenger is always a spider. And those of you that love spiders, they're good messengers. And this is what they call the 1111. They're just called the symbols. We originally called them Akawi Chakpe Uchoka, but people couldn't understand them, so we just broke them down to the symbols. One. And what
I have that book as well.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. This one is called the Iktomi Uchakpe Uchoka, or the symbols 2, and this is a 1212. And you can get this off starknowledge.org. And we have the 3rd one, which is called simply the symbols 3, which is the Chawa Kawi Choka. The Chawa Kawi Choka. And 1212, these are universal and spiritual laws of creator. The 1111 is spiritual laws of creation. See? And the 1212 is the universal and spiritual law of universal mother. So if you're interested, starknowledge.org is where you could order them. And if you have the other language, the Spanish language, Maritza Valdiacera, this beautiful condor woman of the South, has translated them for your viewing, your reading. So that's also, they're also listed in there as well. So
I'm watching a lot of people type in, and she's doing a great job of sending people to in the Zoom chat room, of sending people to workshops, your website. Somebody's writing in, I rescued a large spider from my crystal singing bowl yesterday. Sparkling light, beautiful. And we thank you for writing in. A lot of people want to get the books, Chief. So, and these teachings are really powerful. When we come together at the Star Knowledge events, usually, we've been doing a lot of them on over the 11 time period, but Chief Goldenlight Eagle usually will go where one invites him. So if you want to hold a ceremony or hold an event, contact Jen Berryhill at starknowledge.org and see about putting together group events so that we can have these teachings. And I'm hoping that you're going to be putting together some Zoom teachings so that people can learn about it all over the world if they can't physically get to a Star Knowledge event. What's really special, in addition to all of the teachings at these Star Knowledge events, is the way people gather. And Chief Goldenlight Eagle always has the grandmother ceremonial drum there with the drummers and singing the prayers of the people in his language. And even if you don't speak the language, these prayers penetrate so deeply into the core of your internal self that I can't even explain what happens in the presence of Chief Goldenlight Eagle and the drummers singing and the women dancing behind them. you can feel what's happening with all the ancestors and the stars joining in these rooms filled with people. It's very palpable, and it lends to us knowing that we're connected to each other and that our light is shining together, and we're amplifying that light through these teachings and being with our star family at these events. And Chief, you know, when I look at on the website, I did ask Jennifer to put that original video from, I think there's a lot of interviews on there from 1992.
Yeah, we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos at home on the reservation that's stacked up from many, many teachers, you know, since 96 from all over the country. And they come from all walks of life, whether it's the military, government, you know, the armed forces, geophologists, light workers, medicine people. Everybody's pitching in and giving a little bit of the part of the hoop, you know, their little piece of the puzzle that we all need. So there's a lot, many, many, many people. I know the star people in the beginning, they said that, well, when we go out and do these teachings, that you're going to meet the 144,000 and teachers and masters and healers, but I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. But after a while, it started to sink in. So just about everybody I meet is part of this whole vibration of change, you know, that's coming about. So working through these laws and will help to develop what they call strengthen your intuition, and also work with your what they call your language of light, your first language or language of love, called telepathy. So we do have a grandma that works with us and helps you to activate that part of yourself that's necessary for your survival in the future. So telepathy, Grandma Chandra will be with us in this November down in Camp Verde, Sedona, Arizona area as a retreat. But in the future, when all this little game that people are playing will open up, then we'll be able to have more speakers and, you know, get back to the norm of helping everybody, each other. Right now, they're giving us all a break from I don't know what to call it. We have a name.
Let me read you what some of the people are writing. Richard Biggs, thank you. He says, thank you, Chief Goldenlight Eagle. Lyron Starseed. Andrea Murphy, thank you. She says, check, Chief Goldenlight Eagle just broke it down! Exclamation points. The most amazing explanation of how we are all connected I've ever heard. Feeling gratitude on a whole level. And who else? Someone else, I think, Cassandra says it was the highest blessing to experience and witness that. It will be. Let's see. Teresa Armstrong is requesting a Sundance song if there's time. Joy says, how can we raise our vibration during the Halloween? And Suze Hayes, you know Suze Hayes. I know her.
Hi,
Suze. She says, so magical, so much love, life-changing. Susie is at almost every 11/11 gathering that I've been at, and she's one of my dear sisters, so that's awesome. I don't know if you came prepared to sing any type of a song. Do you have a drum there with you?
Yeah, there's all kinds of them.
You're in Douglas Blue Feather's studio. There's got to be something.
Douglas Blue Feather, my brother's studio, and he has about every instrument. Even has a collection of kazoos. And he's a I don't know how many times do you win he's an AMA award winner, about 5, I don't know how many times, but nominated so many times, you know, and got awards for his music. So I'm very much, you know, in honor of his presence all the time. He's been a beautiful soul, and his wife as well. She's a good cook.
I love they're hosting you and treating you right. We have about 3 minutes left, and after we're going to go to a break and then to our Divine Feminine panel. but Suze Hayes says, hi from Tom too. And why don't you sing us out with a beautiful song? Everyone, please connect with Chief Light Eagle at starknowledge.org.
All right. Okay, I'll just sing it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, kawi, wow, hey, wow, kawi, wow, hey, wow, kawi, wow, hey, ay, di wa, hey, tanka, chow, mi, chile, wow, kawi, wow, hey, oh, chognawe ke, eche glonke chas. Oh, chognawe ke, eche glonke chas. Ya, hey, ya. Eleche wagle honi, eleche wagle honi, elo, wow, kawi, wow, way. Wow, kawi, wow, hey, wow, kawi, wow, hey, ay, di wa, hey, tanka, chow, mi, chile, wow, kawi, wow, hey, chognawe ke eche gloke chas. Oh, chognawe ke eche gloke chas. Ya, eleche wagle oni, eleche wagle oni, oh. So before we leave, well, there was a question about Halloween. A long time ago, Halloween was actually called the Ceremony of Remembrances. That's when you start learning about, teaching your children about soulmates. You have 144 soulmates. You don't have just one. And you have your twin souls, and you have 13 twin souls, which make up the 13 constellations that you're the 13th, and you're the center of all those signs and star signs, because you lived many lives on Earth in different star astrological signs. And you learned about the twin flames. You have 7 twin flames, and those 7 twin flames are your spirit guides. They're your past, present, your future, your above, your behind you, above you, each side of you. They're all around you, and you're the center of those twin flames. So, and the last one that you have to learn about is your twin ray, and that's what everybody misconstrues with your soulmate, but it's actually your twin ray that you're looking for. So that's above everything, and that's beyond anything, and whatever you want to do with it, it's bliss, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So that's what I can say about Halloween way back when. Now it's about
Thank you. Wopida. Oh my gosh, that was way more than I even expected. And our audience is just writing in, thanking you so much. They really appreciate all the wisdom that you brought through. Happy Spider Moon. And please give Douglas Blue Feather a big hug from me.
All right, I will.
Okay.
But we got to remember that we got to honor the source. You know, we are just the messenger. But everything we learn come from a source. So all these books that you're looking at, they're unedited. And I'll tell you why they're unedited, because my dad used to tell a story over and over and over and over, and he never changed it. And so when I asked him, I said, hey, Dad, I was going to ask him about his story. He said, I cannot add a word or cannot leave a word out. If I do, it becomes a lie. So these books are not edited, as is the way the Spirit gave us the message.